Please be seated. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to open the ceremony during which the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology will be conferred on Professor Li Zhongxian, President of Tianjin Zhongxian University, China, Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko, Rector of National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic, Ukraine, Professor David Gurgenidze, Rector of Georgian Technical University, Georgia. In our TV studio, please welcome Her Magnificence, Rector of Bialystok University of Technology, Professor Marta Kosior-Kazberuk, and the Vice Rectors. Vice Rector for Development, Professor Mirosław Świercz, Vice Rector for International Cooperation, Professor Dorota Anna Krawczyk, Vice Rector for Research, Professor Marek Krętowski, Vice Rector for Education, Professor Agnieszka Dardzińska-Głębocka, Vice Rector for Student Affairs, Professor Jarosław Szusta. The title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology is conferred by Rector of Bialystok University of Technology after consulting the University Senate, to personalities associated with Bialystok University of Technology, who have a real impact on shaping favorable conditions for its functioning and development, and who significantly enrich the achievements of the university. The awarding the title of Honorary Professor is a form of appreciation expressed by the community of the university. In the history of the university, the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology was awarded 11 times, including twice to professors from foreign universities. I would like to invite Her Magnificence, Rector of Bialystok University of Technology, Professor Marta Kosior-Kazberuk, to take the floor.
I hereby declare the solemn session of the Senate of Bialystok University of Technology open. Today's session is open and ceremonial. It's dedicated to awarding the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology to three personalities who, one can say safely, are friends of Bialystok University of Technology. I would like to ask Professor Lech Dzienis to present the merits and introduce the profile of Professor Li Zhongxian, Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology.
Her Magnificence, Mrs. Rector, distinguished Professor Li Zhongxian, dear members of the Senate, dear guests. We are gathered today for the ceremony of awarding the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology to Professor Li Zhongxian, the President of Tianjin Chengjian University, a recognized scientist, a specialist in prevention and mitigation of construction disasters. The scientist's measures are his work and his students, his attitude and public service, and also what impact of his works have on the development on science. In all these spheres, Professor Li Zhongxian has shown exceptional merit, of which the academic community of Bialystok University of Technology can also be proud. Professor Li Zhongxian is a charismatic and brilliant personality, and his academic and public activities over the past 4 years are rich in the significant achievements. He has carried out his research activities in academic centers around the world. The University of Basilicata in Italy, the University of Cambridge in the United Kingdom, the University of Southern California in the United States, Swinburne University of Technology in Australia. He is the author and co-author of many scientific articles, monographs, and patents. In 2010, Professor Li Zhongxian was entrusted with the leadership of this outstanding university. Professor Li Zhongxian has served as the president of Tianjin Chengjian University until today. It is with great satisfaction and gratitude to Professor Li Zhongxian that I can say that since 2013, the Bialystok University of Technology has had the honor of cooperating with this outstanding institution, which conducts its activities on the Bahai Bay in northern China. I had the honor to sign the first general agreement personally with Professor Li Zhongxian during my visit in China on the 9th of December 2013. An agreement bringing Bialystok University of Technology and Tianjin Chengjian University together. Just 1 year later, as a part of the implementation of this agreement, the first scientists from TCU came to Bialystok University of Technology. Professor Yu Zhang came to Faculty of Engineering Management of Bialystok University of Technology as a visiting professor. Meanwhile, the Faculty of Civil Engineering and Environmental Sciences hosted Professor Yuan Zhong. In 2015, the invitation to go on scholarship and work as a visiting professor at TCU was accepted by the current rector of Bialystok University of Technology, Professor Marta Kosior-Kazberuk. Another 4 Polish visiting professors were invited to TCU in 2017. In 2016, Bialystok University of Technology and Tianjin Chengjian University signed an agreement on double degree program in the field of civil engineering for undergraduate and postgraduate students. Since then, every year, Bialystok University of Technology hosts groups of Chinese students from Tianjin. It is gratifying to note that our cooperation with Tianjin Chengjian University has been successfully expanded within joint Erasmus Plus projects, under which, since 2017, 3 students and 7 employees of Tianjin Chengjian University and 1 employee of Bialystok University of Technology have benefited. However, the biggest joint venture between Bialystok University of Technology and Tianjin Chengjian University was the establishment of the International School of Engineering situated in Tianjin. Work on this project began in 2017, and the grand opening was scheduled for September 2020. This is an innovative project which success is ensured by the accreditation of the Ministry of Education of the People's Republic of China and the full support of the Polish Ministry of Science and Higher Education, as well as the involvement of Polish universities, Bialystok University of Technology and Krakow University of Technology. The objective of this joint education initiative is to enable Chinese students to pursue international studies in their home country and obtain double degrees in the fields of civil engineering, environmental engineering, architecture, and landscape architecture. The study programs have been jointly prepared by Tianjin Chengjian University, Bialystok University of Technology, and Krakow University of Technology. They meet the curriculum requirements of these countries. The signing of agreements for the establishment of the International School of Engineering by Bialystok University of Technology, Krakow University of Technology, and Tianjin Chengjian University took place in Warsaw in May 2017. The Chinese Ministry of Education granted its accreditation in December 2019. All these activities are firm evidence of the mutual relation between Bialystok University of Technology and Tianjin Chengjian University. Our achievements in the process of internationalization of research and technical education would not have been possible without the extraordinary commitment, kindness, and support shown at every stage of this project by President of Tianjin Chengjian University, Professor Li Zhongxian. Dear Professor Li, thank you very much for your help and kindness. We wish you health, prosperity, and further success. We are proud of the fact that you have become a significant figure of the 70-year history of Bialystok University of Technology. All the best, my dear brother. Congratulations.
Thank you, Professor-elect Dzienis, for presenting the Professor Li Zhongxian. Rector and Senate of Bialystok University of Technology grant Professor Li Zhongxian, the distinguished researcher and teacher, in acknowledgement of the achievements for advancement of cooperation with Bialystok University of Technology, and in particular for establishment of the International School of Engineering within the structures of Tianjin Chengjian University, the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology, signed by Professor Lech Dzienis as promoter and me as Rector of Bialystok University of Technology. Dear Professor Li, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Rector Marta, for awarding me this honor. And thank you, Professor Dzienis, for your wonderful introduction and laudation. Distinguished Rector Marta, dear Professor Dzienis, honorable Senate members, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First, please allow me to express my sincere gratitude to all the Senate members of BUT. Thank you all for awarding me the title of Honorable Professors of Bialystok University of Technology, BUT. I'm fully aware that BUT is an international university with great reputation for higher education. Today, I feel extremely honored to be awarded as an honorable professor of BUT. And meanwhile, I feel great responsibility. Now, please let me take this opportunity to introduce myself. I am the president of Tianjin Chengjian University, TCU, and also a chair professor of Tianjin University, TJU. You may be curious about the difference between these two universities. TJU is a top-level university under the administration of Chinese Ministry of Education, while TCU is a local university under the administration of Tianjin municipal government. The similarity of two universities is their location in Tianjin, which was one of the 4 municipalities of China. I have a profound feeling about this city because I started to study at TJU in 1980 and became a full professor at TJU in 1997. In 2010, I was appointed as the president of TCU by Tianjin municipal government for promoting the development of TCU. The government gave me the privilege to keep the chair professor position at TJU, which means I must take 2 responsibilities. At TJU, I led a high-level research team and own award-leading laboratory. My research area is seismic and blast resistance of civil engineering structures. I have completed dozens of national research projects as a principal investigator, and some research results have been applied in major engineering projects. For this reason, I have won 3 National Science and Technology Awards. I'm keen on international cooperation. I have hosted several international conferences and have kept close contact with many world-renowned scholars. I'm also the member of the leadership for several international academic organizations. For example, the Fellow of the International Association of Protective Structures. I have been the president of TCU for more than 10 years. During the past 10 years, TCU has achieved great progress in talent cultivation, scientific research, social service, and international cooperation. Those progress are benefited from the national reform and opening policy to promote the quality development of higher education in China, and benefit from the innovative development philosophies to carry out the education internationalization strategy in TCU. I clearly remember the first visit of Professor Dzienis to TCU in 2013, which was also the first time I met him. We were talking like old friends and seemed only yesterday. His visit started the remarkable cooperation between TCU and the BUT. establishment of the School of Engineering at Marta to TCU in 2015, and she stayed here for 1 month. Her elegant image, intelligent wisdom, and modest personality had become the beautiful scenery on our campus. Her visit has successfully promoted the mutual understanding and mutual trust between the faculties of our two universities. I believe with the leadership of Rector Marta, BUT will achieve more glorious successes, and the cooperation between the TCU and the BUT will make outstanding accomplishments. Again, I would like to thank Rector Marta, Professor Dzienis, and all the select members of BUT for awarding me the title of Honorary Professor. I will make every endeavor to fulfill my responsibility to promote the cooperation between TCU and BUT, and to make due contributions to scientific and cultural exchange between China and Poland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Lee. And now, something special for you. I would like to ask Professor Lech Dzienis to present the merits and introduce the profile of Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko, Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology.
Her Magnificence, Mrs. Rector, distinguished Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko, dear members of Senate, dear guests. It is with great pleasure, which stems both from the long-standing cooperation between our universities and from personal, extremely friendly contacts, that I would like to present today the profile and merits of Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko, Rector of the National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic, and from today also the Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology. It's a great privilege and honor to introduce him as a scientist with the considerable publication and implementation achievements, an excellent teacher, a person with outstanding organization skills, a person known and recognized in the international academic community who, with great commitment, develops strategic partnership between the sector of science and business. Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko has been preparing for his current task of leading a national university by obtaining successive scientific degrees in technical science, in civil engineering, and economics, specialization in business economics. He is the author of 26 monographs and over 250 scientific publications, as well as 15 patents. He has also had a significant impact on the development of academic teaching. He is the author of the 15 academic textbooks and the supervisor of the 5 habilitation dissertation and 30 PhD theses. For his special contribution to the development of education, Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko has received the State Prize of Ukraine in the field of science and technology, and the title, the Honorary Employee of Ukrainian Education. It should be noted that it was Rector Onyshchenko who initiated the agreement that gave the framework for the development of cooperation between Polish and Ukrainian universities, including Bialystok University of Technology. The agreement was signed in 2014 during the Ukrainian-Polish Forum Technical Education for Future of Europe, at which rectors of higher technical education institutions of Ukraine and the rectors of Polish technical universities met. The special concern of the signatories of this agreement was to equalize educational and academical mobility between Ukraine and Poland. Between Bialystok University of Technology and National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic, an English language mobility program for civil engineering students has been implemented. The experience gained during this implementation was the basis for launching a double degree program in civil engineering. All at the same time, the Faculty of Engineering Management has started cooperation with Poltava Polytechnic, where a group of Ukrainian students graduated from a 2-year postgraduate course in logistics. National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic should also be emphasized for its openness to projects that extend the international contacts already established by the Bialystok University of Technology. We are talking about the unique partnership of Bialystok University of Technology, National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic, and Chengjian University Ningbo Institute of Technology in China, which resulted in organization of the International Ukrainian-Polish-Chinese Summer School for Logistics students in 2016. In this triad, we also undertook work on developing a curriculum framework for the International Summer School on Architecture. The development of further projects connecting National University Yuri Kondratyuk, Poltava Polytechnic, and Bialystok University of Technology since 2017 is handled by the Ukrainian-Polish Center functioning within the structures of the Ukrainian University. Its activities concentrate on organizing Polish language courses for Ukrainian students and teachers who want to take part in the international exchange programs. It is difficult to find a better spoken person for the integration of the Ukrainian higher education system with the EU academic centers than Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko. He presented his original perspective on a successful formula for carrying out this process at the 2019 Regional Economic Diplomacy Summit organized by the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Technology of the Republic of Poland. The goals he presented then are common for Ukrainian and Polish universities. These are internationalization, development of innovations, and integration of science and business. Therefore, by awarding Professor Onyshchenko the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology, we are honoring an eminent figure with an influence far beyond the scope of his own scientific community. His achievements and contribution to development the international cooperation between the Poland and Ukraine are indisputable. I would like to thank you very warmly for your work and commitment, which have significant enriched the achievements of our university. I am proud of this choice of the academic community of Bialystok University of Technology, and it's with great cordiality and satisfaction that I welcome you, dear Professor Onyshchenko, among the Honorary Professors of Bialystok University of Technology. All the best, my dear friend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor Dzienis, for presenting Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko. Rector and Senate of Bialystok University of Technology grant Professor Volodymyr Onyshchenko, the distinguished researcher and teacher, in acknowledgement of the achievements for advancement of cooperation with Bialystok University of Technology and contribution in the field of promoting academic mobility of students and staff. The title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology, signed by Professor Lech Dzienis as promoter and me as Rector of Bialystok University of Technology. Dear Professor Onyshchenko, the floor is yours.
Your Magnificence, Rector of Bialystok University of Technology, Marta Kosior-Kazberuk, dear Professor Lech Dzienis, respectful Bialystok University of Technology Senate members, and all the academic community of the university. Let me express my sincere gratitude for such a high event and thanks for the vote of confidence. It is an honor for me to obtain such an honorary title as Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology. Cooperation between our universities is a true example of international academic, scientific, and cultural diplomacy. We established our cooperation in 2014, and since that time implemented a lot of joint academic projects, students exchanges, and working visits. With support from Bialystok University of Technology, Ukrainian and Polish center of our university became a real center of Polish culture, traditions, and language in Ukraine. It was with the center opening that Polish language teaching began at our university. Another outcome of our mutual work is opening at Poltava Polytechnic a new academic program on Polish teachers for schools and university training. During these years, we observed our international cooperation transforming into true friendship between universities, authorities, staff, and students. Special words of gratitude I would like to say to my colleague, Professor Lech Dzienis, who is our partner, advisor, and friend. Mutual support of our initiatives gives positive results today. The honorary titles means a high appreciation of the previous achievements and commitments for future. I am proud that from now Bialystok University of Technology will be my university as well. I weigh and declare to work and support all the initiatives within our cooperation, which will benefit out both universities and help to promote friendly relations between our academic communities and people of Ukraine and Poland. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Onyshchenko. And now the choir of BUT. I would like to ask Professor Lech Dzienis to present the merits and introduce the profile of Professor Dawid Gurgenidze, Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology.
Her Magnificency, Mrs. Rector, distinguished Professor Dawid Gurgenidze, dear members of Senate, dear guests. The title of Honorary Professor is a unique distinction conferred by the academic community of Bialystok University of Technology on outstanding academics, on those who, through their scientific, didactic, and public activities, have made a special contribution to science, teaching, and public affairs. Professor David Gurgenidze is undoubtedly a person who perfectly meets the above characteristic. The Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology, Professor David Gurgenidze, with whom I share not only friendship, but also common interest in the problems of water management, is a recognized scientist, a specialist in water resources management and hydro engineering. Rector of Georgian Technical University, a partner of Bialystok University of Technology. He is a member of the Scientific and Advisory Council of the Georgian Parliament for Regional Policy, and in the past, Deputy Minister for Fuel Energy of Georgia. He is also a full member of the Georgian Academy of Engineering and the Georgian Academy of Energy. Professor David Gurgenidze passes his extensive knowledge and experience in the field of economy and hydroengineering, confirmed by scientific degrees awarded by Russian and Georgian technical universities to the next generation of engineers. For more than a quarter century, he has been engaged in educating successive generation of students and organizing teaching at Georgian Technical University. In 2020, he was entrusted with the management of this excellent technical university, the largest in Georgia, which historical roots date back to the 1922. With great satisfaction and gratitude to Professor David Gurgenidze, I can say that for over 10 years, Bialystok University of Technology has had the honor to cooperate with this outstanding institution, mainly in the disciplines of civil and environmental engineering. The first general agreement bringing Bialystok University of Technology and Georgian Technical University together was concluded in the spring of 2015. During the stay of delegation from Bialystok University of Technology in Tbilisi, we defined a 10-year plan for cooperation between our universities regarding development of joint scientific project and support of staff and students exchange of all teaching levels. Specialists from the Faculty of Civil Engineering and Environmental Studies of Bialystok University of Technology were invited to co-lead 3 doctoral dissertations of young scientists from GTU. All of them were successful and led to scientific advancement of Georgian environmental engineers. Georgian Technical University became one of the most important partners of Bialystok University of Technology in efforts to obtain grants from Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange. Under the International Academic Partnership Program, 25 students and teachers from Bialystok University of Technology and Georgian Technical University have benefited from short-term stay at partner universities. The projects within the framework of international academic partnership made it possible to ensure student mobility as well to organize summer schools, combine Georgian, Polish theoretical and practical classes, as well as visit to enterprises and engineering infrastructure facilities. We have brought great value to the development of young professionals. The gained experience and practices of the participating academic teachers have become the basis for the creation and integrated textbook, which be included in the didactic process of Bialystok University of Technology and Georgian Technical University. Active cooperation between Bialystok University of Technology and Georgian Technical University also includes exchange within the Erasmus Plus program, thanks to which visiting professors from Poland and Georgia conducted classes for students at both partner universities. Our cooperation means also an activity related to the exchange of ideas and experience during international conferences and seminars. The example would be the International Scientific Seminar organized by both universities in March 2019 in Tbilisi, European Innovative Technologies of Water Supply and Wastewater Disposal. The seminar was attended by the representatives of 12 countries, and its result is the monography Environmental Ecology. All the activities I have mentioned above are firm evidence of the mutual good relation between Bialystok University of Technology and Georgian Technical University. And our joint achievements in the process of internationalization of research and technical education would not be possible without commitment, kindness, and support shown by Professor David Gurgenidze. His contribution to the development of international cooperation between Poland and Georgia is unquestionable and justifies the award of the title of the Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology. Dear Professor Gurgenidze, we would like to thank you for your help and kindness. We wish you health, prosperity, and further professional success. And we are looking forward to continue fruitful cooperation between our universities. All the best, my dear friend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor Dzienis, for presenting Professor David Gurgenidze. Rector and Senate of Bialystok University of Technology grant Professor David Gurgenidze, the distinguished researcher and teacher, in acknowledgement of the achievements for advancement of cooperation with Bialystok University of Technology and contribution in the field of promoting academic mobility of students and staff, the title of Honorary Professor of Bialystok University of Technology, signed by Professor Lech Dzienis as promoter and me as Rector of Bialystok University of Technology. And now I would like to ask Professor David Gurgenidze to take the floor.
Your Excellence, dear Rector, Professor Marta, Your Excellence, my friend, Professor Lech Dzienis, Kalbatonebo, Batonebo, Patso, Senatis Cevrebo. Იხარია რომ ვიმყოფები საპატიო დოქტორის ხარისხის ნიჭების ცერემონიალზე და როგორც რექტორ საშუალება მეძლევა მოკლედ ვისაუბროთ თქვენს წინაშე საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტის შესახებ. და ამ მჭიდრო პარტნიორულ ურთიერთობაზე, რომელიც წლების განმავლობაში ჩამოყალიბდა ჩვენ ორ უმაღლეს სასწავლებელს შორის.
I'm happy to be presented at the ceremony of awarding the degree of honorary doctor, and as a rector, I have the opportunity to speak briefly about the Georgian Technical University and the close partnership that has developed over the years between our higher education institutions.
საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტი არის საინჟინრო განათლების კერა არა მხოლოდ საქართველოში, არამედ სამხრეთ კავკასიის რეგიონში. საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტის დაარსებით საფუძველი ჩაეყარა კავკასიასა და საქართველოს უმაღლეს ტექნიკურ განათლებას. საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტი დაარსდა 1922 წელს. უნივერსიტეტის დაარსებას ფრიად მასშტაბური მოსამზადებელი საქმიანობა უძღვნა წინ, რომელსაც სათავეში შეედგნენ ევროპული განათლების მქონე ადამიანები, გამოჩენილი საზოგადო მოღვაწეები და მეცნიერები.
Georgian Technical University is the first center of engineering education not only in Georgia but also in the South Caucasus region. The establishment of the Georgian Technical University laid the foundation for higher technical education in the Caucasus and Georgia. The Georgian Technical University was founded in 1922. The establishment of the university was preceded by large-scale preparatory activities, which was headed by people with European education, prominent public figures and scientists.
საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტი, რომელზეც მალე 100 წელიწადი სრულდება, ევროპის უნივერსიტეტის ასოციაციის წევრია და ხელმძღვანელობს ევროპის უნივერსიტეტთა დიდი ქარტიის პრინციპებით. დღეს საქართველოს ტექნიკურ უნივერსიტეტში ფუნქციონირებს 15 სამეცნიერო-კვლევითი ინსტიტუტი და 12 ფაკულტეტი, რომლებიც საუნივერსიტეტო განათლებას სამივე საფეხურზე ახორციელებენ 172 საგანმანათლებლო პროგრამაზე. საქართველოს ტექნიკური უნივერსიტეტის სტუდენტთა რაოდენობა 23,000 უახლოვდება.
The Georgian Technical University, which soon is turning 100 years old, is a member of Association of European Universities and is guided by the principles of the Grand Chapter of European Universities. Today, the Georgian Technical University involves 15 scientific research institutions and 12 faculties, which implement 172 educational programs at all 3 levels of university education. The number of students at the university is approaching
კომეტის ექსპერიმენტი იაპონიაში, ფერმილაბი ამერიკაში, შესაბამისად აქვს ჭიდრო ურთიერთობა ხელშეკრულებები, ბირთვული და ელემენტარული რაზმები, ფიზიკის მსოფლიოს ისეთ დიდ უდიდეს ცენტრებთან, როგორებიცაა CERN, EKI, Dubai.
Georgian Technical University is an official member of the world's leading international collaborations such as CMS Experiment, Comet Experiment, Dune Experiment. Accordingly, it has close relationships with the world's largest centers for nuclear and particle physics such as CERN, KEC, Dubna, Fermilab, and so on.
კოლაბორაციაში ჩვენ სტუდენტებთან ერთად მონაწილეობს დაახლოებით მსოფლიოს 85 ქვეყანას, სამასამდე უნივერსიტეტი, სამეცნიერო ცენტრი, 4,000-მდე მეცნიერ თანამშრომელი და ინჟინერი.
About 85 centers, 3,000 universities and research centers, and up to 4,000 researchers and engineers participating in these collaborations together with Georgian Technical University.
Thank you very much, Professor David Gurgenidze. We have lost the connection with Professor David Gurgenidze, but let's listen to the song Suliko, which the choir of Bialystok University of Technology performs specially in the honor of our new honorary professor. Thank you all very much for your presence at the solemn session of the Senate of Bialystok University of Technology. On behalf of the academic community of Bialystok University of Technology, I would like to congratulate to the Honorary Professors of Bialystok University of Technology. In the history of our university, the title has been awarded to 11 personalities from the world of science. Today, Professors Li Zhongxian, Volodymyr Onyshchenko, and David Gurgenidze have joined this group. I would like to thank them for their contribution to the development of our university and international cooperation, as well as for accepting the honorary distinction awarded by our university. I hereby close the solemn session of the Senate of Bialystok University of Technology. Thank you very much.